Welcome to Utopia, favored ones. Come on in and take a seat at the round table and we will get right into it. I'm Kymmy, and today's topic is going to be on how your spiritual warriorness class has been unlocked. I'm hearing that you are bringing down the banhammer and you're not allowing people to overstep boundaries in all the realms. So you are taking action in the physical as well as protecting yourself in the astral realms. I'm hearing that anyone who did a binding spell not too long ago, or the fact that you blocked someone, was a wise decision, and it's working. Your binding spell was successful, and I'm hearing that this is allowing you all to go back to your regular programming, your regular time schedule, back to the programming of protecting your peace, allowing to live it thriving and happy, which is what you deserve. There was 111 on the clock when I said that you were thriving. So I'm feeling like you're learned the lessons from the individuals who had brought this grievances to your doorstep, and you were like, hey, I'm not going to be dealing with that. That's not mine to carry, and you can have that bag of dogs back and take care of it. Some of you may have been dealing with neighbors leaving garbage, or their dogs leaving a little present for you on your lawn, and you're like, I'm not dealing with this anymore, and you were able to, you did a binding spell to whoever it was that they would clean up after their dogs. So some of you may be doing reflection spells and sending the energy that people are sending to you, you're sending it back to them, so they're reflecting on themselves. For those who don't do rituals, then this is, like I said, you're just putting, your block, banhammer, just ignoring them, and, really acting through grace and regulation, responding over reacting. You're giving yourself the time and space to truly know how you want to move forward and take action. Now, with the spiritual warrior class being unlocked for you, for those who may have already been a part of the spiritual class, I'm seeing here that you have been promoted in your ranking as well. For any of those who went through like the trials of Osiris, going through and maybe meeting up. I'm feeling for some of you who I'm speaking to, you've been meeting up in the astral realm with your guides and ancestors in order to practice certain healing rituals and helping yourself prepare to navigate things during the day in the density of the physical realm. Especially with spiritual warfare warrior class is also into yoga, like Jamamic. What is it? Java monkey. I looked it up earlier, the pronunciation, but it's new to me, so I'm going to keep practicing. And some of you may be correcting people when they're saying your name wrong. You're no longer allowing yourself to be misrepresented. If it's like your stage name, you're correcting people and being like, no, this is my real stage name. No. Whether it's your government name and given name, where you're like correcting them. And it's like, if you can say Travasky, then you can say my name. Like, you're no longer letting that stuff slide, and you're really protecting your identity. Maybe people who has spoke ill on your name or had a rumor, you're no longer allowing that to slide. You may be going to yoga, but you're not going to be flexible when it comes to people respecting you. Throw some respect on it. But yeah, just like there is certain type of class that's called spiritual warrior class for yoga, yeah, it has chants in it and different types of like meditations. So I'm feeling that being a spiritual warrior, knowing that that means that you are balanced. And I feel that very much so, that you have tempered yourself over over this past while, and through the lessons that the universe has sent towards you. I'm hearing that you're acing them. You're like bypassing them with flying colors, you know? I'm also hearing that you may have gone for your colorblind test, and you're learning how to navigate that, and you're knowing what your body sees and how it perceives things, and you're learning how to adjust and overcome that. I know that there was another part that I had wrote down here to remember for my notes. Yeah, Venetia flow and chanting. Um, yeah, you're learning how to do warm-ups. For those who are connecting with your body, like I'm really sore today because I've been learning how to longboard, and I've been getting more into like going out for walks and in nature, as you can see from my posts. Now that it's nice out again, I'm getting to, be more active and listening to my body and enjoying having more energy to enjoy myself. For those who, like some of you may have low iron deficiency, and you're learning that you need to take that supplement, like just knowing what you need out of the day and incorporating it makes you a warrior. Because if you only focus on the mind and not the body, you can accomplish great things. I'm not going to say that you can't, but when you combine the body with the mind, whether it's just speaking more mindfully and taking the time to be thoughtful with your words, and knowing that delay gratification is worth the wait. You are realizing you are worth the wait, and the dedication, whether it's to your craft, your body, your growth mindset, which is stupendous. Honestly, if you're taking that time and you're using your tools, is what I'm hearing. Like, you were like, I have armor, which is my binding spells, my boundaries, my block button. That's my armor. And it's like my sword is my quick wit and knowing how to cut off people right away, knowing that how to defuse a situation, knowing that you don't need to escalate things, and that you're speaking from facts over feelings, and because the sword represents the mind. And your shield is your body. So you got to remember to use both your shield and your sword. And knowing when it's time to put the sword down, for if you were overthinking, if you were over analyzing things, and not taking a moment for your peace, which is, reap the rewards. As much as you are a warrior, you still need to um, prepare for times of peace, or else you'll be itching for a fight. You'll never know what to do with yourself in those moments of peace, and you'll, as a trauma response, you will crave chaos, because that's what you're used to, and your nervous system will become addicted to that. So allowing yourself times of peace and delayed gratification, not saying no to yourself altogether, but delaying it, being like, I am supposed to be cutting down on coffee, and I only had the one that I said I wanted to have today, but I kind of want another one because I just finished this one. And instead of being like, okay, I'm going to get the other one, or no, I'm not going to have one at all, I'm staying with my program. And like, but you're like, you want to know what? I'll wait a couple of hours, and if I still feel the same, then I'll treat myself. You know, if I feel the same way in 20 minutes, I'll have another snack. You know, really making sure that it's coming from a fully formulated opinion, and not just an impulse, which is really strong-willed. I'm gonna say, even if you do have that second coffee eventually for that one day and you're cutting back and you used to have 5, that's incredible um, willpower. And it is. You should definitely give yourself credit, which I feel you are, which is why you're passing that test. A test in the testimony. Not allowing yourself to become too much of a perfectionist, because a lot of people, when we are trying to level up in the community of spirituality, we're constantly on that, it almost turn it into a grind of like how fast and how much you can spiritually heal yourself, that we forget to just live, have the human experiences, and be at peace enough to have pleasure, and take not take things for granted, have the delayed gratification, knowing we're worth the wait, knowing that even healing is worth the wait. Someday on a Tuesday you're gonna wake up and something's not gonna bug you the same way it did yesterday or the last 10 years, and you're gonna feel that peace. And sometimes we do feel that peace, but then we're like, oh, that's just another thing checked off the box, next thing to do. You living your life is not a to-do list. I know it's very much culturally and societal norms to feel like you need to check off all these boxes in order to be the best human you can possibly be, but you are already unique from the very moment you were born. Even if you're a twin, even if you're a twin, even if you were the most coupley couple ever, you were still unique. And one of the things that Spirit's giving me was when I once had an interview, and the interviewer asked me, do you prefer working in a team or together? And I asked, am I allowed to answer both? And he's like, no, you can't answer both. I'm like, okay, well then I prefer to work in a team, because even when you work as a team, you are still an individual. Just because you're in a team doesn't mean you lose your individuality. What makes you individual makes it a reason why we're part of a team instead of a clone unit, And even if we were clones, like look at Star Wars, there was Rex and all the different ones. They had their hairstyle differently. Some of them had buzz cuts. Some of you may have buzz cuts and really stand out, and that's one of the ways is that yeah, oh, that's so cool. Okay, inside Star Wars they also look different. Yes, we got that part. Yes, it's good. So some of you may have grown up in a sheltered home or very strict parents, and this is one of the ways that you are like reclaiming your body. And this is how you're being a spiritual warrior, by reclaiming your body and how you how you dress it up, how you present it, how you learn. In the past, you may have not been allowed to get a buzz cut because your parents said no, or you didn't know what kind of like genre and aesthetic you like to have for yourself, and as your armor, as your your beautiful aesthetic. Just like with me growing up, with my very strict and like sheltered lifestyle and abuse and everything else like that growing up, and poverty, once I moved out and living with my ex, trauma dump. I didn't get the opportunity to learn a lot of things, and I'm taking the opportunity now to learn that. And it's never too late to take back your power. And I feel like that's what you're doing. That's why the Spirit's giving me so many examples of that. Like, even with in the Clone Wars, Ahsoka was raised by, Anakin, and in the end she stood up for herself, and she's like, you are not my master anymore. I can't be your Padawan if this is the way you're going to go. I'm going to go my own way. And I want to remind you that you could be born into a family and that doesn't mean you're like them. You don't have to be like them. And sometimes, just like my doctor told me, the things they said about you were untrue. And they were untrue, and you finally are embodying that those bullies and the things that they said about you, they weren't true, and your truth is outshining their lies. And even the ones you've told yourself, when you got in your ego and you repeated the things that they said and became your own bully, is you're standing up to that voice in your inside of your head and saying, why not? Why can't I? Says who? Who said that? Who told you that? Exactly. Well, I'm telling you, I'm in charge. I got the steering wheel. I have the talking stick, and I'm telling you to shut the fuck. So you're really standing up for yourself, even though, reminding yourself when you're overthinking, being like, telling yourself better things, giving yourself those affirmations, the ask-formations of like, how are things going to go well for me? Like, how could I feel more confident today, Spirit? And like, just, if you're with me, Spirit, can you send me a ladybug, or something you're not scared of? I know everyone has different quirks and perks and things they find adorable, but even if you can't go outside, you can ask Spirit, show me a certain number or a certain animal on a post while I'm glamour scrolling, because you don't always have to doom scroll. That's another thing that you could have done for yourself that's making you a spiritual warrior, is by really being your own bouncer. You've got your own bouncer now. You're becoming the person who allows what's coming into your life. You're like, I don't want that kind of negativity. Like, I'm not talking about like staying up to date on like being an activist or whatever, but if there's like, women hating posts and men hating posts that doesn't really do nothing besides divide and conquer mentality behind it, you're like, I don't need to see that. That's not really helping me. Like with myself, when I was cleaning up my timeline from being doom scrolling, I like went and looked up different wholesome pages so that I could see, because you need that salt lick, that little change of pace to really grasp what you would want in your life and manifesting it, not allowing that to drain your spirit and your energy and your hope and your thriving. But yeah, being your own bouncer, being like, I really don't like this person's attitude. I'm going to snooze them for 30 days. Let them get over whatever they need to get over without it involving me. Like, you're being there for people, but you're not allowing them to place that burden on you. You're not allowing them to overstep. And honestly, that's so badass. Like, Athena is known for being a warrior, but she does it through the mind, the wisdom, the like owl energy, where she diffuses situations and negotiates so that no one really needs to fight. And honestly, that's the one I have most respect for, the one who's able to calmly address the room and command the attention and respect. You are commanding respect and the attention you deserve. And yeah, there may be some hate, naysayers, and some evil eyes on the side, but I feel like you're really not even giving it that attention. Like I said, you're being the bodyguard, you're aware of the situation, but you're not allowing it in, you're not allowing it to have a home in your party settings, nothing. And, ooh, that's the energy I love to see from my collective. Ooh, I'm so proud of you all. Like, really, it's really top-notch energy. Is the fact that you do have some that curveballs sent your way and you're still smashing a home run. I was so close, guys, of not swearing. Not gonna apologize for it though. Ooh. Oh yeah. Some of you can make chicken noodle soup. I was gonna say it because I drank the water too fast there. Yeah, a lot of you are slowing down, hydrating as needed, and the saying that I always know is like, slow down. You got some bones inside of your drink or in your food or whatever, and it just reminds me of chicken noodle soup. So some of you could be making that. Delicious. Let me know what's your favorite vegetables and stuff to put in with your chicken noodle soup. I like egg noodles. Those ones really slap. Oh, buddy! Me, bones, skull caps. That is such cool synchronicity. 47. So 47 could be an important number for you. Or number 11, master number 11, where you're building on solid foundation. 1111, the master number, is incorporating a solid foundation to grow from. And look at that. You have cracked your mask and you're no longer masking. Some of you may have been late diagnosis for neurodivergence, and you're no longer masking, and this could involve, some friends no longer feeling compatibility because they didn't really know the real you, and now they're getting reacquainted, and the ones who are meant to stick around will. Some of you may be Scorpios or water signs. You don't have to be, but that's definitely extra confirmation. Spirit wants to remind you you have the skeleton key. You have the skeleton key to opening all the different realms. Like I was saying in another reading of mine, that you have celestial access. You have been granted access. And not only have you been granted access, you're passing your training, because you're not just going to go down to the other realms and not practice or explore. And that's what Spirit wants to remind you, is that you don't have to just show up for the realms and for your ancestors. They want to be called on when you're having fun times too, and that they don't want to just be called on in time of crisis. They want to celebrate with you as well. Yeah, the meditation ends 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the clock, on the timestamp. Yeah, stepping into your stillness, knowing that you are allowed to take the time. Like I said, mindfully eating, chewing 10 times before swallowing, making sure that you have, that you're taking the time to share experiences with others, sitting in the stillness of your own beauty and grace. I feel that a lot of you what was I gonna say? I got distracted by all the imagery here. A lot of you could be taking the time to sit down and create a vision board, or whooping, if you want to look into the whoop technique, WOOP, that they use in psychology, that is like coming up with what you envision and thinking about the obstacles and the outcome and how to have patience with it. And I feel like you have gained that patience. A lot of you could be herbalists, and if not, then you're just doing regular flower gardening, a chaos garden, just throwing and seeing what what grows. But yeah, with the hourglass there, it is your hour. It's your time to shine. Uh, you have noticed from taking time to have stillness and practicing meditation that you're the woman of the hour. You're the man of the hour. You're the person of the hour showing up, and you were worth the wait. And you're not allowing things to phase you with the moons going all the way around. It kind of looks like a horseshoe too as well, the golden horseshoe. Some of you may live by Niagara Falls, or waterfalls could be really important to you right now. Water rafting, going to the water park, or just the fact that people are realizing that you're a lot of fun. You want to go out and do fun things. You're not just wanting to go to the bar or go drinking and stuff like that. You really wanted to go out and go to the arcade, maybe play some pool, go longboarding, doing all those things that you didn't get to do while growing up. Maybe learn how to throw horseshoes. Maybe you weren't allowed to play your lawn darts or lawn bowling. I think it's bocce ball. Uh, Bocce ball. I love that stuff, really getting to go camping and explore places. Maybe you've never been outside of your town or city, and you finally get the opportunity to do that. And Spirit's just reminding you that while you are there, to take a moment in your stillness and thank your higher self for guiding you there. Thank yourself for putting in the work in the physical, and, just thank the nature around you. Maybe you're taking a moment to be still with the flowers like I am and be like, thank you for being here, and leaving offerings behind for the fairies or the trees to thank them for standing there and being, the originals. They were like, you're the original. I feel like you have originality very much in your and that's why your regular scheduled programming, like, you are going to be before the programming of societal norms of what your inner soul contract, your inner soul signature, like, you're like, I'm not signing off on that. Okay, that energy, I'm not signing off on that. So you could have been like doing some different rituals, for those who may not resonate, but some of you could have been doing binding rituals, make sure that people weren't, you know, being as annoying. It's just like, shoo fly, go away, and like just spraying them with water. But yeah, freezer spells, or you're planting and asking Mother Earth to cleanse things for you, like, such as if a crystal broke, or a necklace or such, from protecting you from evil energy, and you like buried it in the ground, just say thank you and cleanse the energy, and then you kept it and made it into another piece. Keeping a moss garden, you could be doing a bunch of things, but yeah, it does definitely 100% look like a golden horseshoe, which reminds me of the other reading that I did as well with Adam Gregory, and it's like, Ooh, yeah. Bringing those horseshoes. Ooh, yeah. Ba-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da. Dig it. But it's like it in the song. It's like I got a feeling things are going my way for no good reason. Things are going my way. And I feel like that's what's happening for you right now. Your spiritual warrior class has been activated. You are balanced and tempered between both all the different realms, um, as well as being a conduit for spirit. You're taking rest if you need to, like certainly for me, being more active outside of the house. I appreciate everyone who's patient and waiting for videos and all of the mutual exchanges and fun times we have. But yeah, it's when my spirits and guides are telling me to take a rest, I'm starting to listen so we don't get spiritual burnout. Because that can certainly happen for spiritual readers, for those who listen to readings a lot. So if you're listening to readings a lot, it can be spiritual unhygienic, depends on who you are and how much energy you have to give. But if you're constantly in the astral realm, doing stuff in the physical, and then giving out readings too, just be careful for yourself, my dears and loves, and pour into yourself for a while. It's 3113, so 4/4s could be important to you as well. But I'm not here to tell you what to do, and I certainly appreciate readings, listening readings myself. So I'm not gonna call the pot kettle black, okay? So like it's just to be mindful, and I really think you are with being your own bodyguard, and I feel like that is too. There could be people who are really defending you and your honor at this time, and it's really heartwarming and wholesome to know that people really have your back and that people do see that you've made a change and that you are a respectable person and worth defending. And you yourself have learned that you are worth defending, because in the past, I've definitely been guilty of this, where I would defend other people, but then I would be a fucking welcoming mat for everyone else and be like, come walk all over me. I'll be your punching bag. Uh, but I ain't doing that no more. I ain't playing like that. And I feel like that's you, okay, my collective, whoever I'm speaking to. You are 100% not putting up with that anymore. You're like, maybe catch me fucking 6 seasons ago, but it's not gonna be now. Yeah, you're willing to protect yourself. You're like, mess with the bull, you get the horns. You mess with the scorpion, you get clamped. And if you come too close after I've made my little clamp, then get stung. Get stung, you know? Some of you may have gotten new shoes, because I always remember that with Scorpios, Scorpios, always check your shoes. But no, with Scorpions, I usually will pour out my shoes. For spiders too, I just don't want to step on them, right? Scorpions don't like being stepped on, and then if they don't deserve being stepped on and don't like it, then we certainly should not be accepting that either. And that's amazing. So you could be getting new sneakers, new drip. Congratulations. I hope you feel comfortable, and like $1 million. Some of you could be winning millions of bucks too, if you work on going to the casino, if you're into that type of style thing, or you could just be a contract that you're gonna sign at work. There'll be different ways and different paths from the universe for all of you. But yeah, you could have been doing a money ritual as well. That's coming through as being successful. Ace of Materials. Yeah, look at that. Yes, you're finally getting to live in your aesthetic. You want to dress up like a swamp core or whatever, then you're able to. A lot of you are coming out of the broom's closet, you know, the witch's broom closet. You're coming out and letting people, I'm coming out. I want the world to know that I'm me to show. I know that's not the lyrics, but I figured it was cute. Yeah, some of you could do cover songs, or you can change the lyrics from being masculine version to feminine version. Like, what is it with Frank Sinatra originally did it, and then the Fugees switched it to uh, Killing Me Softly with his song instead of Killing Me Softly with her song. Uh, you could change up the lyrics like how it was originally. Nothing you can do can take me away from my guy, my guy. And then they changed it for Sister Act to from my God. uh, and really just changing the lyrics. Some of you could be deciding that you wanted to change the lyrics for your own songs. They're kind of outdated, like how Keisha changed the lyrics to change it so that it wasn't wake up in the morning feeling like whatever. And you know, you're allowed to change that. You're allowed to feel differently than you did before. You could have had a painting that you had done before that you hadn't finished and it was going in one direction and it completely went left sideways to another direction. So I'm feeling a lot of you are artists. You can have different canvases, different mediums you work in, of course, if you're mediumship. It's really, this is giving me kind of a flute energy. Like if you work with Pan, you could work with the Fey realm, especially with the looks like a fairy circle or shamanism as well. Doing travels for other people and really getting your flowers. You are the decor. So you're bringing out decor for your body. You could be getting more tattoos. You could be a body paint or face body painter and do face paintings as well. You could be a cosmetologist and you work well with makeups and matching people. It's also giving photo shoots as well. A lot of you could be models, you could work the runways, or you just do your own art. Like you do photography, you make your own films, uh, whether that's digital or RIL, like on the computer. Uh, Drawings or whatever way you do it, my loves, it looks like it's really being put on display and being brought to the forefront and highlighted. It reminds me of the lamp light, the circle creators lamp light as well. So some of you may be getting better lighting. uh, you could have got a new microphone, a new laptop. Some of you are getting new noise canceling headphones or like project earphones. Yeah, cosplay as well. It's yeah, it's saying moss here. There's some moss here. Some of you could be making moss gardens and stuff like that to try and spruce up your environment. I know that my partner, who's at work, and his coworker, both both found some moss and put it inside of a container, and now they're growing it together at work with a little bunch of statues everywhere, making an altar on the toolbox. So I don't know, that just makes me feel like you are really into having a homely touch. You have a wholesome, a homely vibe. like home vibes, very homey, very homey, very homely vibes. But yeah, with cosplay as well, you could be getting a new wig, you've created a new persona, and you can't wait to show it off, which is exciting. It also reminds me of traveling as well. Your music could be traveling long distances, or you could be going traveling long distances for your music. And if you're not that type of artist, some of you may be willing to travel to go see the artist that you've wanted to see since you were young and you were sheltered and you were told you weren't allowed to go to concerts, you weren't allowed to go to this or that, and you've always wanted to go see the opera, or you wanted to go to a Comic Con or anime-a-thon, and you weren't allowed to, and now you're taking yourself out and treating yourself and allowing it. It reminds me of this video I saw of this lady who was like 90 something or like 100, and she never had her own photo shoot. So someone could be wanting to make that happen for you. Some of you could be trans and you're getting a trans affirming photo shoot as well, which is super exciting. I love that. I'm so excited for you. It's also with the makeup there as well. Some of you may do work as a clown or one of the birthday party workers, like princesses and or like mascots. Are they just called mascots when you're dressed up outside of the sports setting? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, you getting dressed up, so you just may like the clown aesthetic and you're trying to find out what your perfect makeup is before you submit it on the egg to be kept in the clown face exhibit when you are, that makes sure that you, what is it called? When you do it by business so that you sign it on. Yeah, some of you are getting signed on, whether it's a, yeah, I'm getting a brain fart. Patent. That's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, some of you are getting your work patented, whether you're signing on with a company or not, whether it like book signings, getting your music and making sure that it's copyrighted, that you have it patented, especially in law firms and such. I'm hearing that some of you, some of you are winning with the binding contract. So your binding was a success. Brings to mind also with like the law, you could have like gotten a binding contract that someone had to leave you alone and you won that case, or you got a binding contract that you have full custody of your kid, and that's wonderful. I'm happy for all of you for winning your case and having that binding contract to really drive home that you are within your rights and taken care of. Binding contract too as well. It looks like indigenous to me of a sort. With shamanism is dramatic, but it doesn't have to be. But with the roses and the red and everything, it could be that you are advocating and getting out more and bringing it to the forefront, things that have been issues like with missing and murdered indigenous women and men, and showing that the welcome belt was a binding contract and is still a binding contract to this day, as well as other binding belts that they're called. Welcome belt is, for those who don't know, and I hope I explain it properly from my knowledge of going, and yeah, some of you could be taking indigenous courses to learn and be better allies. A lot of you are wanting to be better allies because you were sheltered when you were growing up, and maybe you didn't know that these things were going on, and now that you do, you want to be there and step forward and help and amplify their voices as much as possible. Like a welcome belt, it is woven by the elders and the leaders in charge as a binding contract of what is to be shared, and it never expires, like modern day jury systems and uh, law systems will have expiry dates. Theirs don't. So you're going through and letting everyone know that, you know, this isn't okay, and you're really advocating and letting it know that that binding has never ended, and standing up for those people. I'm seeing hair jewelry, so some of you could make body jewelry, or you're a jewelist. Is jewelist a word? You're a jewelry maker, or you style, like maybe you're a hairstylist, like whatever. I feel like there's so many different artists on my channel. Like, even if you may not show it, you're still an artist. Just because you're a private artist doesn't make you any less of an artist. You singing in the shower, you're an artist. You made little videos of you playing the guitar every now and then, you're an artist. You only know 3 chords and how to do hot cross buns on the recorder, artist. I don't make the rules, I'm just enforcing them. Nah, who am I kidding? I made that rule. And yeah, you're ruling it. You're ruling. Yeah, you rule. You rule. You are being the ruler of your own kingdom. And like, you know how there's usually a main general in an army, and like the king and the family. Well, you're the royal family and you're the general. You're in charge and you're slaying. And I'm so excited about anyone who's getting like a photo shoot for the first time ever and make themselves feel, I hope you feel like $1,000,000, all of you. I really do. You know, I hope you feel dapper. I hope you feel like a queen and king. I hope you do. I really do. I wish for that so much. Spirit just reminded me at the beginning. It's like, I got the talking stick now, and it's because of the talking stick. Like, yeah, you know that it's a time for those who have been oppressed, their time to talk, and it's their time to have the microphone, the talking stick, and you know that everyone is equal, you know, everyone gets a seat at the round table, you know. Yeah, you could be a runes reader, or you're visiting runes uh, in Ireland, in Scotland, and or you're just visiting where sacred lands are for you in the area and giving offerings to it. It reminds me of one of the festival places. They have a wishing well, and you're allowed to leave something and then take something behind and leave a wish to the wishing well. So I feel like Spirit is wishing you well, and you are accepting it. You are accepting that offered gift, and that was always yours by birthright, and Spirit was just holding on to it until you were ready. And you are ready, my dears. You are my favored ones. You are. And that's everything I have for you this time. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. And if any of you feel like donating an energy exchange, I do have it listed inside of my description. And I should have a new episode out for my second channel with my co-host Vanna from the Soul Shine Experience, over at Vibes with the Archives. And honestly, I think the next one is on protection. So the fact that we're talking about spiritual warfare and the fact that you're acing it, it just means that you just get to show up and hear about it, because it seems like you guys are at top of the class already. And yeah, anyone else that I'm missing? Nope, I just love all of you and I hope you have an amazing time. So remember to eat, hydrate, rest, and have fun, favored ones.